You're listening to A Strange Arrangement.
Let's talk about jazz chords. Jazz chord. Jazz. Jazz chord. Okay, so jazz chords, what are they? You take your chords and you add extensions onto them. Take a G major chord. Now make it a dominant seventh. Or go further, make it a ninth. Maybe an 11th? Dare we say a 13th? For me, what's nice about these extensions is that I can see how notes connect to each other, and it helps to close the distance between seemingly unrelated notes. It's like giving a chord extra arms to reach out to other notes, making new shades and textures in the process. Using new chords with extensions can give a melody a totally different context. Okay, so let's go back to seventh chords. In the beginning, we've got our main melody, and that melody happens over the chords G major, D major, G major, and C major. Now that last note in the phrase is an E, which fits nicely into the C chord. Now let's swap that C chord with another chord. I'm going to swap it with F major 7. F major 7 uses the notes F, A, and C, and the added major 7th note, E. Here's what that sounds like now. For me, the arrival at the F major 7 chord feels more striking, contemplative, emotional, and then the turn from that major 7 back to the G major in the next phrase feels hopeful to me, and I like that. That's how I feel anyway. That's my way of saying, I think this sounds nice. And at the end of the day, that is all that matters, what sounds nice to you. In fact, my friend Fabi uses this F major 7 chord a lot, plus a lot more 7 chords, in her arrangement of the tune as well. You'll hear how she uses these chords in a quick Latin jazz setting to turn this old poem about remembrance into a lively song of celebration. So, here's Fabiola Mendez on this episode of A Strange Arrangement.
Hello, my name is Fabiola Mendez, and I am a musician, composer, and educator from Puerto Rico, currently based in Boston, Massachusetts. I am super excited about sharing my arrangement for this piece in particular that I remember hearing this every New Year's Eve back home in Puerto Rico, and it's a very popular song. So for this arrangement, I was thinking about the festive music and festive style. So the groove that I chose for this arrangement is called guaracha, which is very similar to a salsa groove, but it's more acoustic sounding. There's no piano, there's no horn players. So for this arrangement, I am playing the cuatro, which is the instrument that I play, as well as the guitar and some percussion to accompany it. So I wanted to start with an intro that took the rhythmic idea that I was thinking when I heard ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. I was thinking of like and thinking about again that guaracha groove, which has a lot of syncopation. So I decided to do a short 4-bar intro of just that groove with the chords I chose for the first 4 bars of the song. So those are the first 4 bars, I guess, the intro. And once we get to the 5th bar, which is when the melody starts, I used a G major 7 chord to start, just because that's the key we're in. And then I went on to an F major 7 chord. I love the sound of the flat 7 major 7 in any major key song. And the fact that the melody note on that bar was A, that first melody note, is the 3rd of F major, so it was a perfect chord there, and every note in that measure or in that melody fits what would be an F major 7 chord. And then going back to the G major 7 in the measure after that, to then go to a C major 7, keep it sort of traditional there. Then measure 9, I wanted to do a couple of different 2-5 progressions. So you can see that there's a B minor going to an E7 that then resolve to another 2-5, which would be A minor and D7, which then that D7, it's the 5 chord of G major. And instead of going to G major, it's a deceptive resolution to the 6 minor chord, which in this case would be E minor. And then continuing that 2-5 idea so that E minor becomes a 2-5 with the 5 of 5, which would be A7.
Hey, jumping in with a quick note here. From this point forward, the harmony in the guitar part is being played in this broken arpeggiated pattern that you should be able to hear right now. So that's kind of how the harmony is being played. Okay, back to Fabi.
And then going to D sus, because the melody note is a G in measure 12, I had to do a D sus to then go to a D7. And the idea for that measure in particular is that normally that's a resolution, right? You're playing G, it's home, but the song is not done yet, and the idea repeats again. That same melody, right? So I wanted to have that chord there, that 5 sus to the 5-7 chord, just to create that sense of, oh, we're not home yet, we're not done yet. So then on measure 13, that D7 again has a deceptive resolution to the 3 minor chord, which is B minor. And now instead of doing the 2-5s, I decided to just keep it simple and do a pedal over A, which is the 2. So you have B minor going to A minor, going to B minor over A. So that A is sustained for those 3 measures. And then when we go to measure 17, which is towards the end of the arrangement, I go back to the B minor, but then I move down to B flat major 7 and resolving to the 2-5 A minor D7 to then go and resolve on measure 20. And my idea for that B flat major 7 on measure 18 was sort of thinking of this downward bass motion. So we have the B minor, then going down to B flat, going down to A. A lot of the arrangements I do are based on bass motion. I love to think about how I can connect chords through their bass to the bass notes. So that's why in that ending we have that sort of chromatic line going down to then resolving, and the outro is the same as the intro, just to give it a sense of closure and of repetition of the same idea we started with, we end with, and a little bit of improvisation over those chords to then finish with that rhythm, ba ba ba. So that's sort of how I approach this tune. Again, always making sure that the notes or the chords that I choose always support the melody. So the melody is the most important thing of a piece, not changing the notes, but changing the chords, making sure that, the melody is always fitting, or the chords are always fitting the melody.
And now, here's the whole arrangement. Thanks so much to Fabi for being part of the show. I cannot thank her enough. Fabi, where can people find you?
You can check out my music at fabiolamendezmusic.com, as well as my music is available on all digital platforms, so you can check it out by typing Fabiola Mendez on Spotify, iTunes, your favorite platform. You can also follow me on Facebook at Fabiola Mendez Music and Instagram FabiolaMary20. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Since the time of this recording, Fabi's also been working on a documentary that tells the story of the Afro-Latinx experience growing up in the United States. That documentary is called Negrura, spelled Negrura, set to release in February of 2022. Keep an eye out for that. A Strange Arrangement was produced by me, Rob McCarthy. I edit and mix the show, and I made our theme music. Our artwork was done by the amazing Daniel Joel Newman, and you can find more of his amazing artwork at his website, danieljoelnewman.com. Special thanks to Brian Watson and Rob Hom for notes, and an extra special thanks to Elizabeth Stahl for notes and for the voice that you hear at the top of the show. Be sure to check out our website, asamusicpodcast.com, where you can find more information on our guest artists, and you can also find sheet music to all of the arrangements for the show. You can leave a comment under the episodes, and just let me know what you like, what you want to see more of, so on, so forth. Also, on our website, asamusicpodcast.com, we'll have a playlist of all the arrangements so far, so that you can play them to help you ring in the new year, if that's something you'd like to do. Thanks for listening. We'll be taking a break for the holidays next week, but we'll be back the week after, on January 7th, with a new episode, where we take the melody and we drop it low. I promise it'll make sense when you listen. Thanks again for listening. Happy holidays, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Jazz, jazz, jazz chords, jazz chords, jazz chords, jazz chords, jazz chords, jazz.